What is up, guys? Now, before I get to my review for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, I want to give you guys a bit of an update, a video update of what's going to happen in the future of my channel. So, if you're not into that and you just want to move on to my review for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, I'll put a direction down there. You can skip this intro and get to my review. But I would suggest you guys stay, because this is actually a big update of what's going to happen in the videos in the future, is that I'm actually going to change the rating systems for my movie reviews, because I'm not going to lie, I'm feeling really bored doing A+, A- and stuff like that. Most movie reviews is doing that, nothing wrong with them, but I feel like I want to add something new to my movie reviews, and that is to create my very own rating systems for movies. Now, remember back in 2020, I did this before, but I kind of skipped it completely. So I decided through the 2020 ratings, I'm going to bring those back. Now, if you don't remember them, that is great. If you're new here, I'm going to explain these ratings to you anyway. And if you are familiar with the channel and know what these ratings are, you can skip this if you want to, or if you're curious to know what these ratings are, you can stay, do whatever you want. So I'm going to explain to you guys what my new rating systems are. So for movies that I would give like A+ to, movies that are flawless and stuff, I would give the movies a masterpiece rating. That means these are the movies that are just flawless and they're fantastic movies, or either like the best movies of the year. That is the masterpiece rating I'm giving it. For movies that I think are really good movies and definitely worth going out to see, movies that I would say I'll give it an A or A-, I would say the rating is to go see this movie on the big screen. That is the rating for A's and A-. For movies, I would say it's definitely a good movie, definitely an enjoyable movie. Nothing too spectacular, but at the same time, a pretty good watch. I would give the movie a matinee price rating. Meaning these are movies that are from like B+ to B-. As long as these movies are fun movies and enjoyable movies enough to go see in theaters, I would give it that rating. Now, for movies that I find pretty disappointing, or movies that I just find okay with C+ and C and C-, I would give the movie a meh rating. For movies that I would give like D+ to D-, movies that are bad, but still have a bit of positives in them, but still not movies that I would suggest to see, the rating is to go skip the movie right here. And for the last rating, the F's, the movies that are pro-list, the movies that are completely bad, do not go see this movie whatever you can. I would give the movie a big pile of shit rating. So guys, those are my new rating systems that I'm going to bring into my new movie reviews now. Hope you like them. Now let's get on to my review for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. What is up, guys and Ghostbusters fans? Welcome back to my channel. This is OCD Movie Reviews. My name is On the Brinkat, and today I'm going to review, of course, the highly anticipated installment in this franchise, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. This movie is directed by Gil Kellen, and this movie stars a bunch of people, including Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon, Finn Wolfhard, McKenna Grace, Logan Kim, Celeste O'Connor, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, and parts with Peyton Oswald and Kumail Nanjiani. When the discovery of an ancient artifact unleashes an evil force, Ghostbusters new and old must join forces to protect their home and save the world from a second ice age. Now, this is coming from the guy that is a fan of the Ghostbusters series. The first Ghostbusters movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love the first Ghostbusters movie. And yeah, the franchise goes a bit down to there, but I gotta say, Ghostbusters Afterlife is, in my opinion, very underrated. It's a very divisive movie. Some people didn't like the movie, some people liked the movie. I, in fact, liked the movie. I thought Ghostbusters Afterlife is definitely the best since the first movie. So after that movie, I was excited for Frozen Empire. The trailers really do impress me. Cannot wait to see the new characters and the old characters come together for this one. It definitely looks like a Ghostbusters movie from the trailers, so I was very excited for the film. And I gotta say, there are some good things about this movie. And I would say there's also some bad parts about this movie. So yeah, overall this film is a big mixed bag for me. And I gotta say, this is a pretty disappointing movie, unfortunately, overall. Yeah, you can see like my whole review, like just the overall look of my review looks depressing. That's how I'm feeling right now, honestly, with Ghostbusters Frozen Empire right now. Let's get on with the positives first, because of course, this is not a terrible movie. I would say the cast of the film, for what they're given, they are great in this film. There's way too many people to talk about. There's so many people that are in this movie. So I'm just going to talk about the ones that actually stand out for me. First of all, McKenna Grace once again. I loved her from Ghostbusters Afterlife. She is the star of this movie once again. Her character arc in this film is definitely the most interesting out of the rest of the characters in this movie. And McKenna Grace once again does a really good job in the film. There's an interesting aspect for her character in this film that I really do like in this film. And she really performs that character really, really well in this film. Also, I would say Dan Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd actually has more screen time in this movie than he did in Afterlife, and I thought Dan Aykroyd as Ray is really good in the film. He definitely still feels like the Ray character that we know and love from the original Ghostbusters movie, and he actually goes on the adventure with McKenna Grace in this film, and I thought the chemistry is really well done in this film. Paul Rudd is so likable in this film. Like, how can you not like Paul Rudd? Like, even though his character isn't the biggest part about this movie, he is very, very likable in this film. Now, out of the new characters that are presented in this film, I would say Kumail Nanjiani is actually really good in this film. I find his character actually really hilarious in this film. He has some really funny moments in this film. He definitely has a big part of the movie as well, and I thought his character was really, really interesting and also really hilarious. And Kumail Nanjiani, again, another likable actor to see in movies, and he's so fun in this movie. I would say the overall look of this film, the visual effects of the ghosts look well done. Like, the CGI, I would say, is flawless in my opinion. The ghosts look really, really cool in the film. There's some really cool designs, and I would say the villain, the actual villain of the film, the frozen villain, don't know what the villain's name to be completely honest with you, he looks pretty cool. I love his design, and I loved his aspect of the film, his threat in this film. And the action scenes are fun enough. There are some fun action scenes in this film. There are some fun to be had with Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. If you're just a guy that just wants to see a fun movie, you get that there. The action scenes are really well done, especially the third act. The third act, I was just like, this is Ghostbusters. This is what I want from a Ghostbusters movie. And I would say the action scenes and the direction of the film is a lot of fun to watch. But guys, even though those positives are out, this movie honestly is still pretty disappointing for me. I would say one of the biggest issues that I had with Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is that this movie is crowded. There's way too many characters in this film, and there's way too many story arcs in this film for one Ghostbusters movie. There are a certain amount of characters in this film, say like Logan Kim, Finn Wolfhard especially, Celeste O'Connor, Carrie Coon. Those characters in this film just felt like they're there because they were in the last movie. Even some certain characters like Bill Murray, for example, he's not in the movie all that much, he's just there for a cameo. Most of the characters in this movie, except the ones I mentioned, felt like they're there because they're from the last movie. They have no purpose of being in this movie. And there are so many subplots in this movie, and there are some that I actually did like in this film. There are some subplots where I'm like, I wish the film's about that. I wish they could have explored that a lot more. But then it moves on to another subplot, and another subplot. Yes, this artifact thing is the main plot of the film, and it focuses on that quite a bit in this film, but there's also some subplots that I felt like it shouldn't have to be in this film. I would say second to third act of this film is fun enough. I actually do like the second to third act a lot more than the first act, because the first act of the film, since it's so messy, since it has a lot of subplots in the film, I just find the film kind of boring, to be completely honest with you. And that's disappointing to say. This is a Ghostbusters movie. I'm supposed to have fun with this movie. And with the first act being boring, the setup of what's happening, that's not good. Especially for a guy that loves Ghostbusters. And yes, this does feel like a Ghostbusters movie. The whole atmosphere, the vibe of the film. It felt like a Saturday night cartoon, like the Ghostbusters animated series. That's what this movie kind of felt like. It felt like more of like a whole entire TV season than a movie, because of how many subplots there are in this movie. And yeah, there are some good funny parts in this film, but there's also some really MCU-ish funny parts that felt like it belongs in the MCU. But like I said, there's so many characters in this movie. There's so many subplots in the film where I'm just like, this film just feels like a complete freaking mess overall. Now, Ghostbusters Afterlife, I think, did the nostalgia very, very well in my opinion. This movie brings out a lot of nostalgia that felt kind of pointless. There's like Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, like little babies that we see in the other movie. They're there for just saying, "Aw, they're so cute." That's it. That's their purpose in the movie. Slimer is literally pointless in this movie. I cannot believe I'm saying that. One of the most iconic Ghostbusters villains. Seriously, Slimer felt useless in this movie. This is definitely a nostalgic fest, and also this movie felt like so many episodes of a Ghostbusters cartoon episode, and they just cram it up to one movie. So unfortunately, I was disappointed with this movie. This movie really let me down, honestly. The first act being boring, being completely messy, way too many characters. That's the problem with this movie. It couldn't focus on one thing because there's way too many characters. Some characters I just felt like they're just in the movie because they're from the last movie. That's why they're in the movie. And this film is just very crowded and very messy overall. Now, is this a terrible movie? No. There are some fun to be had with the movie. The action scenes, the visual effects look pretty good. Some of the characters I did like in the film, and some of the subplots I really did enjoy in the film. The problem with this film is that this film has way too many characters. This film is way too messy overall. There's so many story arcs, and there are some story arcs that I feel like it shouldn't be in this film. There's some story arcs that I wish could have been much more explored. But overall, the cast did a good job for what they're given. The action is fun, but the problem is, it's the characters and the story. There's just way too much of them. It's just a complete crowded mess overall in my personal opinion. So unfortunately, I'm going to give Ghostbusters Frozen Empire a meh rating.
I mean, it's alright, like...
So guys, that is my review for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Let me know in the comments below what is your favorite Ghostbusters movie of all time. Let me know that in the comments below. And what do you think of this movie? Do you like the movie, hate the movie, or thought it's okay? Just let me know in the comments below. And how do you like my new rating system for movies? Let me know that also in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Keep contact with me and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Notify for my latest movie reviews and movie related content. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a nice day.